Hey guys, it's Drew Schaefer here. Today we're going to be grading NFL teams. How did your favorite team do this season? Uh, if you're a Colts fan like me, you're sad. But we're gonna get started. Cardinals. Expectations wise, if I had to give them an expectation, I would have said like maybe 8 or 9 wins and probably a playoff berth. But then it happened. So I'm gonna say only because Murray was hurt for most of the season. With him in there, they sucked, but I'm going to give him a D. Falcons. First season away from Matt Ryan, they went with Marcus Mariota, and they did everything they could, and they managed to, I believe, finish 6-11, which was last in their division, but their division was crappy, so they were only 2 games out of first place anyway. So I'll say I thought they would win like 4 games, so my expectations were lower. But I'm going to give them a C just because they didn't really have a top 10 quarterback. They didn't really have like one of those quarterbacks that can do a lot. Ravens. If we are talking about the Ravens in the playoffs, I'd give them an A because I did not expect without Lamar Jackson that they'd actually keep it close with a Cincinnati Bengals team that has dominated them. But I'll give them credit. Their season was okay. They obviously made the playoffs. I think that's about where I expected them to be. I'm going to give them a B. Only because they made the playoffs even without Lamar. And they kept it close without Lamar. The Bills, if we're talking about the playoff Bills, yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. They almost lost to the freaking third string Dolphins quarterback Skylar Thompson, who's a rookie, by the way. That wasn't the only rookie who started in the playoffs. But hey, they made the playoffs. Had a solid year. Of course, Damar Hamlin, that incident happened, but I think they had a really good season. I'm gonna give them an A. Give them an A. Panthers. I say my expectations for them were low, very low. I'm gonna have to put them above the Falcons in C tier because they finished higher than the Falcons, and not only did the Panthers with Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker, and Baker Mayfield almost make the playoffs, but they won 7 games. Yeah, they won 7 games. That was 1 game out of first place. Quite impressive, I'd say. The Bears. Yeah, I think this is pretty self-explanatory. Justin Fields. I don't think it's his fault. With the rushing and passing stats he put up, of course he could have thrown a couple more touchdowns up his case. But with everything that he did for the Bears this season, I really think he could be a franchise guy. But I don't really know how to say that I was really expecting much from the Bears without much talent. So I'm going to give him an F. Bengals made the playoffs. If only it wasn't for one guy. I wonder who that guy was. He's like 58. Bengals fans, you got screwed by your own teammate, so you can't say nothing. Okay. Ooh, the Bengals. I'm going to put them in A tier. I'm going to put them in front of the Bills just based on they actually were screwed out of the first seed with that game, but it was for the best because Damar Hamlin was like sick. He got hurt. The Browns. I don't really know what I was expecting when I thought the Browns were. I think I actually predicted the record 7-10 or whatever. That's some. If Jacoby Brissett had managed like a few more wins with the Browns, then they would have been in the playoffs. And they probably would have got stomped by the Bills first round. But considering that they kind of knocked out the Steelers, not really, because Dolphins barely won against the Jets with Joe Flacco. I'm gonna say their final grade is a C. I'll put them in front of the Falcons because they had a better record. Cowboys. They always find a way to screw something up in the playoffs. I'm not surprised, okay? I'm not surprised. In fact, in their first playoff game, their kicker missed 5 extra points. How? Beats me. Okay, so the Cowgirls, we'll put them in B tier in front of the Ravens. Broncos, I think we all know where we're gonna put them. We're gonna put them in D tier. In fact, we're gonna put them in front of the Cardinals because they finished with the same record. However, the Cardinals lost to the Broncos, so the Broncos are ahead of them. So that's pretty cool. Hey guys, in Denver, let Russ cook. He couldn't even beat Matt Ryan. That's pathetic, man. Very pathetic. So pathetic. You guys are probably ashamed of even bringing him in for the massive loot that you just gave the Seahawks, who seemed like they were going to be a bad team, but suddenly they started winning. The Lions. You know what? I have to. They belong in B tier. Okay, they almost made the playoffs. Had it not been for the Seahawks barely knocking off the Rams, they would have been in. Packers, I'm going to have to give them a C. Just because I thought going into the season, Aaron Rodgers would somehow find a way to win his way into the playoffs. Actually, I thought Jordan Love would take over. You know, whatever. It's fine. I don't know. Something. Texans. Were we really expecting anything from? No, we weren't. Okay, we're gonna put them right here, in behind the Bears. Not only were they the worst team in the NFL, because the Bears certainly were not. I know that the Bears weren't. They almost beat the Minnesota Vikings. But they also ruined their chance to get the number 1 seed. I mean, the number 1. Yeah, the number 1 spot in the draft. I don't understand. Colts. No bias. I'm serious. I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to put them in front of the Texans only because we had a better record than them. But, man. Wait, we had a better record than them, too. Actually, no, I'll put them in F tier. I was expecting way more from them this year. I remember when I thought Matt Ryan maybe could lead us to the playoffs. Maybe he was the missing quarterback that we needed this whole time, but no. He definitely wasn't. Jaguars, so I have to explain myself here. A tier. I get they barely made the playoffs, but think about it. They made the playoffs. No one expected them to make the playoffs at all. No one. I'm telling you. If you thought they made the playoffs, then congrats to you. But if you didn't think they would, I don't blame you. Neither did I. Chiefs, they won the Super Bowl. They get an A. They're going to stay there. No one's going to top them. Okay. What else can I say? Mahomes, MVP season, of course. Still can't beat the Colts, though. Chargers. You know, if we're talking about, like, the playoff Chargers blowing a 27-0 lead, that was sad. But I'm going to put them in front of Lions, okay. I think they have better than the Ravens, too. Yeah, I think they did, okay. The Chargers found the way to charger their game, just like last year. They chargered their way out of the playoffs, and, whoa. Dang, that says something. That's fine. The Rams, I think we all know where this is going. We are going to put them in D tier only because their late season run. Just put that there for a minute. You know, I don't want anyone to see that. So, I can't block that out either. It's so unfortunate. So, don't know if you're really surprised or not. Crap. So, yeah. Okay, so Raiders. probably want to put the Raiders. You know what? I'll put them in front of the Colts. Bad season. I was expecting a lot more out of Derek Carr after his team just made the playoffs. And I thought bringing in Davante Adams was the missing piece for them to make that vital playoff run. Instead of just losing in the first round like they have the past couple of years they made the playoffs. Dolphins, I'll give them a B. And, I figured the team would make the playoffs, but I wasn't expecting them to barely make the playoffs, so we'll give them a B. Jeez, they're mid. Okay, they're very mid. I don't know what else to say about them, honestly. They should be in C tier, but I'm going to put them in B tier. Vikings, greatest comeback in NFL history. However, also lost to the Giants in the first round when they were the number 2 seed. Third seed. Pathetic. The Vikings were frauds. I think the Colts we all knew were frauds and sucked going into that game, so. They made the playoffs, so I'll give them credit. So I'll put them in front of the Cowboys, even though they don't deserve to be there at all. I think they did have a good season. I didn't think they'd make the playoffs, but, fine. Patriots. I'm just going to say they had a mid-season. I think I'll put them in front of I'll put them here. They almost made the playoffs. And, if it wasn't for Nyheim Hines getting 2 kickoff return touchdowns, they probably would have made it. But you know what? It's fine. Saints, they just signed Derek Carr, so congrats to them. Maybe they found their guy. Probably not, but it's fine. I want to say they had an okay season. I'll put them in front of. There, just because. Giants. Okay, let's give them an A. Okay, they were better than the Jaguars. Not really. Yes, they were actually. I wasn't expecting the Giants to make the playoffs. Near where probably half the NFL teams, not even the New York Giants fans, knew they were going to make the playoffs. So, how about the Jets? I think they did okay. I think I'm going to put them here. I'm going to put them, right behind the Saints. They had an okay season, considering their quarterback was Zach Wilson for most of the year. Eagles. A tier, right behind the Chiefs. You made a Super Bowl run. You just couldn't do what Nick Foles did back in 2017 against the Patriots. And that was win. It's fine. Steelers. Okay. Whatever you say about the Steelers is probably wrong. They should have been in the playoffs. I'd rather have watched Kenny Pickett make the playoffs than the freaking Dolphins. Actually, no. Dolphins were that was a good game. Kenny Pickett's okay. I think he's your guy for a little while. Mitch Trubisky's not your guy. Seahawks, they made the playoffs, and I'll give them credit. I'll put them in front of the non-playoff teams just because they didn't make the playoffs, obviously. But congrats to the Seahawks. Geno Smith, comeback player of the year. What did he come back from? Injury? Being terrible? I don't know. 4 teams left. The Niners. They made the playoffs. They went okay. I think I'll put them in front of the Giants. Brock Purdy got injured, though, so that's why they didn't make the Super Bowl. They had, Josh Johnson right behind them, and he got hurt, too. For concussion, so Brock Purdy came in and he did nothing because he was injured. I think he completed a screen pass. Bucks. Mid. They're going in front of the Packers because they made the playoffs, but no, they are not going to be because they were terrible. Tom Brady's final season. Farewell, Tom Brady. You'll never be able to defeat my Colts again. You went 16-4 against them. Congrats, we beat you a few times. Do I really have to say much other than they kind of sucked? Titans. Oh my gosh, this team is actually garbage. How do you start 7-3 and not make the playoffs? The Colts started 1-5 back in Andrew Luck's final full-time season. They made the playoffs. Heck, they won the first round. But no, the Titans don't know how to do that. They tightened it. Titans are terrible. Just for that, I'm gonna put you behind the Browns. Okay, you're gonna see because you were mid. Washington. I think they belong in C tier in front of the Bucks. They should have been in the playoffs. They technically did have a better record than the Buccaneers, but since the Buccaneers were their division was terrible, that's kind of why they missed out on the playoffs. And they also started Carson Wentz in a vital game against the Browns.